Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny and today we have a fun video to do. We are going to unbox this fantastic palette of perennials from Walter's Gardens. It is official, the growing season for 2022 has begun here at Creekside Nursery. Again, if you are new, Creekside Nursery, we are a grower retailer of fantastic plants that really grow, bloom, and thrive here in the South. We are North Carolina, a Zone 7B. So we really take pride in offering our customers plants that really thrive really well here in our hot and humid North Carolina environment. Again, I thought it would be really fun to kind of show you the life cycle, if you will, of the plants. So when you come to a nursery or a garden center and you see this fantastic perennial and you take it home and put it in your garden, I want to show you the backstory of that. How did that plant get to be such a great plant that you then get to add it to your garden? So again, we are huge customers, have a fantastic working relationship with Walter's Gardens. They do perennials only. And we have this is where we get the vast majority of our perennials. Also, a little fun fact, they are the home of all the Proven Winners perennials. So if you have a Proven Winners perennial, if you purchase one or you have one in your yard, it came from Walter's Garden. So this is how they come to us packaged up. So I'm just going to go through and kind of show you again what it looks like. Got my box cutter. Yesterday they arrived here with FedEx freight. So we're just going to go and open this bad boy up. I really do not even remember what's in this order because we placed the order back in the summer. All right, the fun shall begin. I do know Jerry helped me. He put this in here because obviously it was on the he used the Bobcat to bring the pallet in here. So there are some pots, some 2-gallon containers there inside. So we're going to try to rip this cardboard off so we can get into this. There we go. We talked about this in an earlier video, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. So for you as the consumer, it helps to know that all Proven Winners plants have to be in Proven Winners containers. They have to be in branded pots, that's what we call it. So we have here the vast majority, like 98% of our perennials this year will be in a premium gallon. These are actually a 2-gallon containers. We're going to grow our Baptisia this year in a 2-gallon container because Walters gives us such gorgeous, huge, massive rootstock that we really need a 2-gallon container. So that is why these guys are in here. We had already received a whole pallet of the premium gallons, so we have those on hand. This is just these 2 gallons. So we're going to get these set off to the side. So when we buy our perennials from Walter's Gardens, they're going to come to us in 2 different forms. One is you're going to have a liner, which means you actually have a real plant, and I say real, they're all real, but you can actually see foliage on it. So there are eucharas, ASCOT rainbows, strawberries that I see that are liners, and then also they come to us as bare roots. That is simply, literally, it is the rootstock. Sometimes there may be some foliage attached, but oftentimes there is not. It is just plain roots and just a little bit of dormant stalks, stems at the top. This is just going to be the first of many orders that we have from Walter's Gardens. Kata, who you have met before in a previous video, is fantastic. She is our representative here in the Southeast from Walters Gardens. She lives outside of Raleigh, so she is a Southern girl by transplant, and she knows what really grows, blooms, and thrives here in the South. So she has been a fantastic resource for us to say, would this do well with this? And then also, when do we grow it? When do we bring these plants in? When is the bed, is this plant better to bring in January, or do we need to wait until March or April or July? So she's been a fantastic resource from us, or for us, and so that is what we really kind of base this order on. I'm just going to move the camera around just a little bit so you can kind of see actually what this package looks like. Okay, so you can see that we have some gorgeous eucheras there. These are liners. Then we have some strawberries right there. And then down below is the ASCOT rainbow, one of my absolute favorite perennials. So these are all liners. They'll just go straight into the pot, just like we would pot up annuals. Now you'll notice that there was a little bit of damage in shipping. That is not that big of a deal, because here we have some strawberries. These are the proven winners, Berry Treasure Red, but you will notice that some of them popped out of their containers. So here we have this little fella and popped out of its container. I am not worried about that. It is fine. It's still nice and green and very happy. Remember, we're going for the root system, nice and strong, happy and healthy. So we will just pop that back into the cell and it will be fine. All right, so here is, for an example, a beautiful euchera. This is silver gumdrop, absolutely gorgeous. Let's see if I can bring you in for a nice up close shot and see just the color on this is fantastic. So we have eucheras in there, like I said, the ASCOT rainbow. We have a couple of different ones. There is wild berry. I see there is this black pearl. Let's see. Of course, they all have great labels on the side. Yes, so this is black pearl. So I'm gonna see if I can hold them up to the camera so that you can see the difference between silver gumdrop and black pearl. All right, hopefully the camera is showing the difference. Black pearl obviously has a deeper purple color, that black color, where the silver gumdrop literally has a silver overlay. So what I'm gonna do is we'll use the magic of video, and we're going to fast forward, and I'm going to get all of this unloaded, and then we're going to go through the ones that I think you might be excited about and just go over which ones we have. Then we'll get into the bare roots that are in the boxes. What I got pulled out, you can see them behind me. We have three different types of eucheras. So we have that silver gumdrop, the black pearl, and then the wild berry. In the world of eucheras, there are 1,000 different varieties. It's really about finding those really that you like and that do well in your environment, your climate. We have found that these three, along with others, do fantastic. Really big sellers here for us. And then I've got the ASCOT rainbow pulled out. Again, it's one of my favorite perennials. It's mostly foliage. It will do some flowers, but you grow it for its foliage. Gorgeous color, nice big shape, and it has an earthy, it's a very hard scent to describe, kind of a musky, but in a good way, right? So it's just that earthy smell that I find comforting. Love that plant. And then we have 2 trays of the Berried Treasure Red strawberries. Those are those ever-bearing strawberries from Proven Winners. Love them. Now, you will see here that I still have a tray of liners. This is Gold Heart Dicentra, a bleeding heart. But you will notice that they are completely dormant. Perfectly fine. When you are getting your perennials, remember your investment is really in the rootstock, not what you see up top, but your rootstock. So if you have a really strong, healthy root system, the foliage will come. It's just that these have been dormant for the winter, and so that's perfectly fine. Not a problem at all. Bleeding hearts really are one of those first perennials to be blooming in your spring garden. So I don't want a lot of foliage right now. If we were to get these with a lot of foliage here in January, that means they're going to be blooming right away. I don't want that. It's too early for them. So getting them dormant like this is key. So we have several trays of these. Let me get these off. I'll say this too, because I forgot to tell you that gold heart is really fun as far as a bleeding heart, because it has completely different color on its foliage than what you may think of a traditional bleeding heart. Traditional bleeding hearts are like that nice deep dark green, right? Gold heart is like a lime green. Oh, it is stunning. Still does the classic pink and white blooms on it. But if you're looking for a pop of color in your shade garden, gold heart is a fantastic one to add. Then we have, oh, look at this. Is this not absolutely gorgeous? This is the AJUGA. This is the black scallop AJUGA. If you will remember, we had this that we had gotten from another local nursery this fall, and we were selling, it was like a retail ready, right? We didn't grow it, we just brought it in, turned around and sold it. But it is a fantastic perennial AJUGA, nice and low, fantastic evergreen ground cover. I planted what we had left over from the nursery that didn't sell. I planted it between the flagstone right off of the patio. And when I was doing that, I was like, I really love this plant. Of course, Walter's had it, so I contacted Kata and I was like, throw me some black scallop on our order, because this is a fantastic one. AJUGA, the black scallop, in early spring will do little tiny shoots of a light purple blue flower. Really pretty. It can handle that light foot traffic, so that's why I put it between my flagstone. That is not a high traffic zone. We don't come through there, you know, multiple times a day. It may be once or twice a week. So if it gets stepped on that point, it's fine, it can handle it. But if you are going to be putting a ground cover in somewhere where you're going to be constantly stepping on it, then this may not be the best option for you. But in our application, it was perfect. And that, I mean, it's almost black. It is gorgeous. Next, we have, look at this beautiful plant. This is Fall in Love Sweetly, and this is an anemone. Great, wonderful, naturalizing perennial that blooms in late summer, early spring. Beautiful pink flowers on these nice stalks. We have some planted on the dry creek bank right there at the nursery. So if you have an area, or you've noticed in your garden that you don't have anything blooming or of interest in that late summer, really kind of early fall, this would be a wonderful one. So again, this is Fall in Love Sweetly. Super easy, super low maintenance. I would say though that you put it in an area where it can spread, because these Japanese anemones tend to be naturalizers. They're not invasive, they're not, you know, out of control, but they will naturalize and spread. So give it some room. And then of course, if you need to move it, you can dig up the little other areas and transplant them in other parts to your garden. But I love this one. And then we have a beautiful daisy. This is Spun Silk. This is one of the new ones from Walters and Proven Winners, one of their new introductions as far as their daisy collection. Again, right now it's green. You're like, well, there's not much. Yeah, but look at these pictures of what the bloom looks like. Really fun, really different, interesting. So if you want to add a Shasta daisy to your garden, but a little different than the ordinary, Spun Silk might be a great option for you. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the bare roots. So let me show you, I'm going to go through and open up. I'm going to go through each box and open them up for you, because that way you can see, one, what we have. I can remember what we have. We'll tell you what we have, and then so you can see the difference in the root systems and just what a great product we get from Walters and why we love working with Walters. So let's get to unboxing. I'm just going to work here off of the palette because it makes it a little easier doing these. First off, we have some cat's pajamas. This is a Nepeta, a cat mint. My gosh, we could not keep this in stock last year. It was so extremely popular. So Cat's Pajamas, like other Nepeta, is nice and low growing. Pollinators love them, huge attractor that way. But, so they come in, just to give you an idea here, they come in the box, in a plastic bag, and then there is some sawdust in here to keep the moisture, because you don't want moisture in your bare roots, because that just spells disaster. So for us as the grower, how we will attack potting up these plants, it's always the bare roots first, and then you can go to the liners. The liners are fine as long as you give them the water that they need once they're dried out. Then they can hang out in those liners for days, even a couple of weeks. It's fine. Bare roots, you need to take priority of them right away. So here, this is considered a grade 1 plant, okay, root system. So they come in different sizes. So I know some of you that have had experience with bare roots, or you're ordering from a different company, then they come in different sizes. So just so you know, this is a grade 1. So here we have the Cat's Pajamas. Yeah, so basically this is the top of your plant right here, right? All your roots. So what we will do is pot this up, and we're going to show you potting up. But just to give you an idea, this is what's going to be sticking out of, let's see, can you see that, right? That's what's going to be showing in the pot. All of this will be buried. So, Cat's Pajamas, check, got it. Next on the list is the denim and lace. This is, oh my gosh, and y'all, some of these pronunciations, you know, just go with it. Tomato, tomato, Pervoskia. Again, it is a grade 1 root system, but look at the difference here. Let's see. Still in the plastic bag, right? Still with the sawdust, but very different. So Russian sage, that is what this is. Denim and lace, Russian sage. So we've got, this is what will be above the soil. This is what will be in the pot. So you can just tell the difference in the root system, right? The Cat's Pajamas was very hairy. This is very stem-like, stalky. There you go. Just like people come in all shapes and sizes, so do plants. And then we have back here, these are two more boxes here that we have of the Cat's Pajamas. So I'm not going to open them. I'm just going to throw them over here with the other. If you can't tell when I'm unboxing, one thing, this is like unboxing is one of my favorite things to do, because it really is like Christmas morning. It's like, oh my goodness, either it's a new plant that you're excited about growing, or like in this case, a lot of these are like old friends. So it's seeing those old friends again, and you're so excited to have them back into your home. And I'm a little OCD, if you haven't noticed before, and all the plants have to be in the same with their partners. I can't handle it scattered out, but it also makes sense when you're potting up. So this afternoon, Emily and Meredith are going to go ahead and start potting up. So they know these are all the Cat's Pajamas right here. So get all of them done instead of, well, there's a box over here and there's a box over there and there's a box back here. Everything organized and in its place. We're gonna get this pallet lifted off, and then there's some nice big boxes of Baptisia, maybe something else under here. All right, see, I'm rolling up my sleeves and I'm ready to get in. I see that we have got lemon meringue, Baptisia. Anyway, let's just get in there. Okay, so Baptisia, if you're not familiar with it, again, one of those such low maintenance, easy, gorgeous early spring bloomers. The plant itself is fantastic. It forms this vase-like, you know, and kind of a light green, almost has a little bit of a blue hint to it as far as the foliage goes, but in early spring, it does these spikes of colors. There are a gazillion different colors out there on the market, and that Walters has. So lemon meringue is one of my favorites. I have it growing in the cottage garden, and it just does fantastic. Now, Kata told me, we were texting the other day, and she said, Jenny, the Baptisia is absolutely huge. Yep, that is one plant. This is one root system of the Baptisia. So you can see why we are going to be putting these in 2-gallon containers. This is still considered a grade 1 root system, but it is massive. It is huge. So trying to get this into the pot can be quite challenging. Last year, it was a challenge. So all of this will go underneath the soil except the crown of the plant, which is essentially this right here. So on the Baptisia, let's see, this, let me get out of the camera. Okay, so this is considered an eye, right? So there are several eyes in here, and that is where all your foliage is going to come from. This is where your plant is coming from. At the end of the season, once a frost hits, you cut Baptisia all the way down to the ground, and they come off out of new growth. So they're not going to regrow out of, you know, last year's growth. Cut it down, but here we go. Lemon meringue, massive root system. Telling you what, this is why we love Walters. They have the highest quality plants, roots, gorgeous. And when you start with a really great root system of a plant, it just sets you up as a gardener for absolute success. You're not having to play catch up. You have an advantage, and it's telling you, y'all, it makes all the difference in the world. All right, so then this one, turn it around. Ooh, Blueberry Sunday. So again, it is going to be another Baptisia. Obviously, Blueberry Sunday is going to have a beautiful blue flower on it. These suckers are massive. Here we go. Look at that. So imagine trying to wrangle this into a pot. So all the root system, and then here is the crown right there. So Blueberry Sunday. I will say too that Baptisia is super easy to grow, but I have found Japanese beetles do not like it, but there is a little worm, it's not a worm, it's a caterpillar that does like to eat on the Baptisia, and it will almost completely defoliate it. I'll find the name and throw it up there on the screen for you. So for us, that's the only really known pest of the Baptisia. And you can treat for that because it's not going to kill the plant, but it does make it look very unsightly. So if you want to have your beautiful foliage the entire summer into fall, you will have to treat it. I know they're in the South. I don't know if that's widespread, but I know for us that is very much an issue. And if you don't treat the plant, then it's going to get defoliated if you have those. Now, this one is honey roasted. If you hear something, it's just the Kubota. Heather's working next door to me. Here is honey roasted. Yet another gorgeous, different color. It's like trying to find, oh my gosh, y'all, these things are fantastic. These are going to be amazing plants. Look at that. Look at that. Crown, roots. It's gorgeous. And it's really neat. Jerry and I were blessed enough to go visit Walters Gardens this past summer. And Laura, who works there, took us out into the fields. Like, we got to tour the whole production area, and then we got to go out into the fields and see, you know, how these plants are grown, because all of these were grown in the ground. These were field grown plants, and then they dig them up after so many years and then ship them out to us. So that's what is so cool. You know, these were actually in the ground in Michigan. here we go, pink truffles, another Baptisia. So if you like Baptisia but you want a certain color, they pretty much have it. The only ones that I can think of that they made, the shades that they don't have, I don't know of a white or like a true red, but like the yellows and the purples and the blues and the pinks, plenty of those. So here we go. Again, nice root system on that. And like I said, this is pink truffles. And I think we've got one more Baptisia. Oh, vanilla cream. Remember what I just said about them not really having a white? Well, vanilla cream, certainly probably in the white family, right? More of a soft yellow. Throw the picture up there, you'll see. Oh my gosh. Look at this beast. Look at this. Oh my goodness, y'all. This, whoever gets this plant is going to have a gorgeous plant in their garden. Why do I say, well, they're all going to be, you know what I mean, right? But look at this. Can you see that? Look how many eyes are on this plant. So every eye is going to be a stalk. Gorgeous, huge, nice, big foliage loaded with blooms. So here we have vanilla cream. Two more boxes left. In the brown box, we have got a fantastic hosta. This is Golden Tiara. Now, sometimes we can get hostas as a liner, but also here we have them as obviously the bare roots. Now, these are gonna look completely different than the other plants. So here we go. So if you can see that, it's very kind of hairy, but as like even with us, our gardens, right? We can divide hostas. So you can see where it has been divided, and there's an eye right here, yes. So Golden Tiara is a nice petite hosta, beautiful, has some variegation on it. It's gonna be a smaller one, so it'll be kind of small to medium, good for the front of your garden, nice chartreuse edges on the leaves, super great. Love the Golden Tiara. So we got a hosta in here, and then this last one, ooh, Firefly Sunshine Achillea. So this is that Firefly Achillea, which if you're not familiar with the Latin names, this is also a yarrow. So might be familiar with yarrow. And this actually has, I see a little bit of green coming out. Let's see. Here we go. So let me show you, get the sawdust off of here. All right, because I know here in the South, even like our yarrow, I would consider it like a semi-evergreen because you can still see some foliage even in the winter. So here we go, gorgeous grade 1 root system, nice, strong, healthy roots. Let's see if you can see that little bit of green down in there? Yeah. Now, sometimes in the past, yarrow has gotten a bad rap because it can be a little unruly, it can be floppy, it can spread too much, it can just kind of be a messy looking plant in your garden. Not with this one though. It is very well behaved, nice, strong, upright stems, gorgeous, bright yellow flowers against that dark green foliage. Really fantastic. Along with that, but also as a little side note, another reason that we love Walters so much is because not only if it's a proven winners plant, but if it's a Walters garden introduction, because Walters, of course, they have the proven winners plants, but they also just have fantastic perennials that are not part of the proven winners program. Regardless of if it's a proven winners or just a Walters Gardens plant, they come with fantastic, nice, big tags. So, of course, you have a picture on it on the front. It has all your information, the name, the sun requirements. You'll notice that there will be a number here That number is for your height, so that tells you how tall it gets. And then when you flip over on the back, it has all the great information. So your growing zones, when does it bloom, how can you take care of it, what plants does it pair well with. So as a grower, this is a really big deal to have nice tags with your plants, because even though we try to get to all of our customers when they're here and to talk with them and to see how we can help them, we can't be personal shoppers for every single customer. The tags act like that. So if you're walking through a garden center or a nursery and you're interested in a plant, if it has a tag, you can pull it out and look at it. But some plants that we get that are non-branded or from other places, they have no tag at all. So you don't even know what it is, let alone what the growing conditions are for it. Tags are a huge deal, because you can get, as a consumer, I can get all of the information I need about the plant from the tag. So there you go. Okay, my friends, so just like that, we have got all of the perennials unboxed from Walters on this shipment. Now the fun begins, is that we get to start potting them up. Of course, we will kind of show you that. I don't know if it will show you the whole process, but we will show you bits and pieces so you can really get an understanding of how we take care of these plants. But it simply really is like throw some potting soil in the container, plop, plop, there you go. We had showed you this when we were potting up some perennials last year, so I will be sure to link that video in the description below. So if you just can't wait until we show you these, go check out that video and you can see it. But again, we love working with Walters because they make it easy to grow gorgeous plants for you that do well in your gardens. Be sure, if you have any questions and you want to get some further information about these plants, of course I have put up all the basic information on the plants, but if you want to kind of dive a little bit deeper into these plants, go to Walters Gardens website. Have it down here at the bottom of the screen. Anybody can access that website because they have amazing information, growing information, companion plants that go well with this, and lots of other different pictures. So check out their website to get some information, and make sure you put it in your gardening journal, some of these plants that you were excited about to add to your garden. I will say also that Walters is not, they are a wholesale nursery, so they are not open to the general public. It is for us nurseries to get these plants from them so that we can then get them into your garden. As always, thank you so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.